Hi, my name is Amanda Asproni, and I'm a clinical psychotherapist. I work with clients who are generally recovering from childhood sexual abuse, betrayal trauma, intimacy anorexia, problematic sexual behavior, complex PTSD. Today, this is my YouTube channel debut video, so welcome to my YouTube channel. And I wanted to start this channel so that I could help not just the current clients on my caseload, but other people that either don't have the resources, they don't have the time. We know right now there is a shortage of clinical mental health professionals that are available to help the amount of people who are looking to try and recover and heal from different various types of trauma. So I thought that this would be a way to try and help a larger group of people that is above and beyond just the small caseload that I can impact just by myself. So today I wanted to dive deeper into the concept of intimacy anorexia. So in the clinical field, intimacy anorexia, which is otherwise known as intimacy avoidance, is when someone is afraid to go all in a relationship. We use intimacy anorexia because most people are familiar with the eating disorder of anorexia nervosa. So it's easy for people to understand if they don't have a clinical background. Someone who is afraid to go all in a relationship, who's suffering from intimacy anorexia, isn't necessarily someone who is afraid to have sex. Generally, I have found that the general population is assuming that when we say intimacy, we're meaning sex. We do mean sex, but we look at intimacy on different domains that all come together. So there's sexual intimacy, there's emotional intimacy, non-physical touch is a form of intimacy, and even spirituality is a form of intimacy. So someone who's afraid to go all in a relationship is going to be holding back, withholding. So just like someone with the eating disorder, they are going to make themselves needless, wantless, so that they can self-protect because they are afraid basically of getting hurt. So something that's interesting about intimacy anorexia that we have learned is that it is related to betrayal trauma. So the people that I work with on my caseload, everything is intertwined. So intimacy anorexia is going to pop up, and that means that there's going to be some kind of betrayal trauma. And there could also then be complex PTSD, which we also refer to as developmental trauma. And there could be problematic sexual behavior. All these different aspects are linking together into one person. So it's very multidimensional. So when someone is dealing with intimacy anorexia, then we automatically start talking to them about betrayal trauma. Now, betrayal trauma doesn't just mean sexual betrayal. Betrayal trauma can start very early in a child's life if they have betrayal by a parent, by a sibling, by society as a whole, the school system, teachers, different friends. And betrayal is something that cuts the relational fabric of a human being to their core. If we can't trust at least a handful of people, at least one person in our life from an early age, then we can develop a phobia of being open and authentic and honest in relationships, especially relationships with an intimate partner. So it's a form, intimacy anorexia or intimacy avoidance, it's a form of self-protection. So when I have a client who comes in who presents with intimacy anorexia, I want to talk to them about their relationships all the way back to their childhood. It can be really confusing to people, as it was for me when I started this journey. Why are we talking about when I was 4? Everything is connected in life, just like the body and the organs and the system. Like one thing is impacting the other. If there's an imbalance, then it's not just going to impact that place in your body, it's systemic and it's going to impact everything. So we go back and we start to timeline, or I start to timeline with my clients to get an idea of the relationships in their life starting from their earliest memories. So then from there, we start to identify where there have been breaches in the trust. Where has that client had situations where they really needed to depend on someone in their life and they weren't there. And this can even relate to death. So if you have the death of a loved one, that can still be considered a massive, or it is considered a massive trauma that can lead to intimacy anorexia, where basically, even at a subconscious, usually at a subconscious level, the person makes a vow to themselves that they will never, ever hurt this way again. And that means that they will never, ever let themselves be open, authentic, and connected on all the different domains of intimacy with anyone. In the most deep form of connection, outside of probably the parent-child relationship, is connection with someone sexually and emotionally, non-physical intimacy, words of affirmation, and spirituality if you come from some kind of faith. So these clients come in, and just them sitting in session is an act of bravery. It's an act of courage, because they are scared to even share with me. They can be scared to connect to me, and I can feel their level of avoidance, because when you are in the presence of someone who life has taught them to not let down their walls, it feels different than, say, a child that you meet that will come and throw themselves at you with reckless abandon. This is not how it feels when you are suffering from intimacy anorexia. The client can present as very disassociated, and that's a clinical term that means a client can be disconnected from themselves, and then they feel disconnected to others. It's not intentional, it's always usually subconscious, but that person then can develop problematic behaviors because they have their system shut down. That's the anorexia or the avoidance. But human beings are not made to be shut down. We're made to be in connection with ourselves and with other people that we trust and we love. So that's all I have for my debut video on my YouTube channel. If you feel like this resonated with you, or it could possibly resonate with someone else that you know, please subscribe and hit the like button, because that helps be able to reach more people. Thank you for listening today, and I hope you come back for more.